Myles, a very good evening to you. Thank you for being on the program. So let's begin with where we are as a country in terms of integrating technology into daily teaching and learning.
So in many respects, we reflect other parts of the world. Technology and education together has been in South Africa for quite some time. Since the time that we've had the internet around the 90s, universities, schools, and other institutions of higher education have been experimenting with technology for all of that time. So, we're somewhere middle of the road in terms of our experimentation with other countries. And in many respects, we have shown successes. Obviously, lots of challenges remain. But, as a company and with many of the people that I work with, and with many of the educators in the university space and the school space as well, a lot of very committed people there helping to make this work.
The recommendation, as with most teaching, has always been that where technology is concerned, the sooner pupils can get on that track, the better. So if you can start it in primary school, great. But the reality of South Africa is that you find a lot of young people who only encounter a computer, for instance, during their first year of university. And one wonders how much they are paying for that when they get to tertiary level.
Absolutely. I mean, it is a significant challenge. And it's something that the universities in this country have to deal with on a regular basis. Every year, a new slew of students enters the university space, not having been exposed to technology at an early age. And absolutely, it is a significant advantage. But again, because of our experience with dealing with these types of challenges, universities and other institutions of higher education are getting better with dealing with it, orienting students better by the time they reach that space. And I should also say that at the schools level, a lot of institutions are trying very hard and introducing technology there as well. So the situation is improving.
And how do we begin to do that at a fast enough pace, given the socio-economic context of South Africa?
Well, I mean, obviously together with working with government and NGOs and teachers in the teaching space, I think a key thing is to enable educators to experiment, give them access to the technology. At the end of the day, teachers themselves are the ones that are best placed to understand their students and, importantly, the context of the places in which they live and where their students come from.
But not all teachers, sadly, are as up-to-date as they should be as well on the different methods. So it goes back to the issue of training, not just for pupils, but making sure that the teachers themselves are equipped enough by the time they walk into the classroom to impart the knowledge.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's a very good point. As I said, teachers not only need the space to be able to experiment, but they need those skills. And a large part of the work that I do, in fact, is enabling educators to, first of all, understand the fundamentals of teaching. It tends to be better in the school space. But certainly in the higher education space, we help lecturers, for instance, understand the basic theory of how teaching works, so then they can better understand how to apply technology in the classroom. But it's all about that experimentation, giving them the opportunity to use the technology, to experiment, as I said, and then obviously apply it for better outcomes for students.
Now, for the curriculum level, when I was in school not too many years ago, the one subject that everyone had to take up was computer application technology, which is where you learn from the basics of switching on a computer and then you slowly make your way through everything else. Looking at where the world is now, especially in a global context, education-wise, is that still the best vehicle to do it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, often we hear this word digital natives, and we assume that people of sort of younger generations will naturally be able to use technology effectively and be able to integrate it into their learning. But we find that that's not always the case. And, as you referenced the orientation programs, it's very important that we orientate students for being able to study with it effectively. Because just because you know how to know your way around a smartphone, for instance, or you play a lot of games online, for instance, that doesn't necessarily make you adept, and more importantly, doesn't make you self-directed. Because it does take a little bit of maturity to understand how your learning is unfolding, and to develop the skills to use that technology effectively.
Myles, thank you so much for being on the program tonight. That was Myles Thies, Director of Digital Learning Services at Eiffel Corp, speaking to us here on Nightline.